5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Oh, I got some great stuff today. Maybe one of the better articles I've ever done. So listen to your customer. Anyway, this is a great article by Samuel Scott, okay, in the Drum. And I'm going to reach out to Samuel. And he's right. This is the most important thing you could ever hear if you're in marketing right now. Marketers need to speak CFO. And in fact, we're doing a webinar in exactly a week, the 12th, I think, at 3 p.m. Chicago time, right here on Periscope, so you can chime in. I see people out there. I don't see the comments right now. I'm not sure quite why. I guess I haven't moved it over enough. But here, let's move it over a little. I see some hearts there. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, but we're doing it. You can register at wdma.org, right there. See below, wdma.org. And there will be posts on LinkedIn. And if you're connected with me on LinkedIn, you probably got an email announcing it. Dig through your junk folder, and you'll find it. But this Samuel says the biggest mistake he made in his entire marketing career was a big presentation, a big splash campaign, and he didn't explain what the return on investment might be, what he thought this would do to build value. So we're going to be talking specifically and explicitly to your CFO. I want you to bring your CFO to this webinar. We're not going to be talking marketing. We're going to be talking return on investment. We're going to be talking on accountability and measurement, and that's what this article is about. I think I'll have to post the link because it's so great. But anyway, he focused on creativity instead of what will be the financial benefit of this campaign. That is all that matters. You're going to put a machine in the factory. How long before we pay it back? And we not only own it, but it's making us money. How much does it improve our production? Okay? And apparently there's a new report that really figures this out. But the CFO thinks of it this way. And I ran a course, actually, for accounting people on marketing for a couple of years. It was inspired and funded by, or, promoted by Catalog Age magazine. And it was a spreadsheet-based simulation where we would tell a story and then we would show the people in the class the factors, the P&L, the balance sheet, and they could adjust the numbers. And then we would put them in the spreadsheet and see how they did. And it was a growth mode. The president was in growth mode, but so much so that he was losing money. But we told him he's going to keep growth mode, and he's not going to listen to you, and he's offshore, so you can't talk to him. And so the finance people, the accounting people who were in the class said, well, we got to cut things because we're losing money. We guaranteed that no matter what numbers they picked in the beginning, they would lose money because the president was hammer to the pedal to the metal, hammer to the wall, or whatever the hammer is, hammer down. Anyway, and so they're going to lose money, and they cut their marketing, they cut their telesales, they cut their everything, inventory, which made it worse. Then they ran out of everything. Everything went to pot. It was great. I got almost threatened physically. People got so mad in that class. We should resurrect that class. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, but chief executives look at a P&L, and marketing is an expense. There is no definitive connection between what you spend in a business and what is generated in sales. The balance sheet, the P&L especially, does not build that connection. And marketing may drive that, but it may not. Remember, Procter & Gamble cut their digital spend 45% and sales went up. And sometimes I think the CFO looks for an excuse to cut the marketing budget just to see what will happen. To see if marketing knows where to spend the money when the pressure is on. And in most cases, they don't. So, there's a new publication with a 5-step playbook to be more financially accountable in marketing. First, number 1, marketers stop the use of trendy buzzwords and vanity metrics. What is vanity metrics? Well, 90% of digital metrics are vanity. Clicks, eyeballs, likes, shares, all that stuff. What's the connection between that and sales? There's probably a connection. I think there is. I do a lot on LinkedIn. I do some on Facebook. There's a connection. You know, we got 20 registrations, 20 plus, maybe 25 probably by now, with one email. That's the best we've ever done in one day. And, you know, I've got 8,500 LinkedIn connections now. When I had 3,000, we didn't get so many. Will they come? Well, we'll see. I'm working on that. They should come because we're going to teach this. Okay? And so then get rid of the vanity metrics and learn about how to talk about value. Marketing should not just be a cost center. It's a mindset focused on driving growth. Yeah, but what they say in the article is that you need to think about the value framework. The trouble is there's no tried and true value framework. There's expenses. We have what we pay to Google every month and Facebook every month and whatever else you're spending on, and your salaries every month. And it may or may not be related to increase in sales. Oftentimes it isn't. It's very clear it isn't. Our spend goes up, our sales don't go up. There's reasons for that. Maybe, you know, I'm not going to get into that. That's what marketing has to think about. That's not what marketing thinks about. They think about creativity. The most important audiences for you as a marketer are the CFO and the CEO. How many people in marketing can even understand balance sheets and income statements? Oh my gosh. I could tell you a big story here, but I'm going to skip it. But the answer is not many. Not many. They got their heads down. They're thinking about designing pretty stuff. They're thinking about font styles and font shapes and who picked the models and what the models are saying about diversity and all this other stuff, okay? And that may be important. It may not. Depends a little on your market. But here is the key back here. We're going to talk about the key, okay? Increasing revenue does usually, here, this is good. Business makes a vastly greater return from increasing revenues than it does from increasing costs. You can only increase costs so much. You can only turn the dimmer down so far, and then the light goes off. Can't help it. Okay, and I can give you lots of stories about accounting, cutting overhead until the company went under. Okay, but here is the best part of the article, and it's down on page 9 of 11. Okay, this is the best. Hang on, here it comes. It isn't the CEO's job to produce sales. It's the CEO's job to build the long-term value of the business. And one term that's never mentioned in this article is the corporate valuation, which means essentially what's the stock price times the number of outstanding shares, or what is the market price that we could expect to get if we sold the business today? What is the company's price? What do we sell the company for? And I can tell you, for 20 years at least in marketing, I didn't understand this issue. That's what we're going to talk about on next Tuesday. But I'll tell you what's happened. What's happened to me is I've implemented machine learning over and over and over for 25 years. And when that happens, first, we accelerate sales, dramatically accelerate sales. We accelerate the return on spend on the catalog directly, often 75, 100%. Okay? When you double the return on investment in a catalog company, you can also dramatically increase the circulation. We can increase the circulation and increase the acquisition. We can often increase the productivity of the acquisition as well, maybe to break even or even above. When that happens, we see dramatic, unprecedented for maybe decades growth in the business. What happens with growth in the business? Especially when we're increasing the profitability per piece and the overall margin and the bottom line net profit and EBITDA. Company valuation is driven by a multiple of the profitability and the sales. And if it's growth and accelerating, then that multiple gets also increased. So you get an exponential build of corporate valuation. And some of that actually is benefited just because you've implemented machine learning. Because no one's implementing machine learning successfully right now. 87% of machine learning projects fail. We can implement machine learning. The net effect? 7 times. We've dramatically expanded company value, multiplied it, and they sold the company and I got fired. And I used to think, that is just not fair. I should write a different contract. I should get a share of that. And it's probably true, and maybe we should. But I've never asked for it. That's my fault. That's not the point. The point is, we know we've dramatically expanded company value. And the owner said, our time. It's our time to get out of this thing. And I was telling my style consultant, Kate, about this, and she said, you should lean into that. How many people can successfully take a company that might be shrinking or dying, not only turn it around, but in a couple of months get it sold? That's what we're going to do. Now, everybody doesn't get fired. Usually the marketing people don't get fired. It's just the outside guy. They don't want to tell anybody that I had something to do with it. But 7 times in my career, and basically since we started the modeling project, 7 of our modeling projects have so increased the valuation that the company sold. So if you want to increase your valuation, you want to be on that webinar on Tuesday. And I encourage you to bring your CFO. That'd take some guts. They say, what do you mean there's a marketing seminar you should see? Then tell them it's about increasing corporate valuation. They'll come. You just say those words. It's not in this article, but I can tell you what to say. So, when a corporation grows value with sales, it grows in a linear fashion. But when you work with intangible assets, including brands, and including marketing effectiveness and growth, the relationship is geometric. And produce a 2-time increase produces a 10-fold increase in business value. You should get this tattooed on your forehead. Your budget will be much more stable. I'm John Miglash. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye.